I just want to say for the record that I just don't think Paul is a traitor, but yeah.
Welcome to WatchMojoUK, and today we're counting down our picks for the most shocking moments and betrayals in the Traitors.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
We actually did have a chat, Paul and me.
I feel like I got blindsided. I wasn't expecting that today, I have to admit.
Number 10. Paul shifts the blame. Things get hectic in Series 2 with multiple traitors still in the game. Paul and Miles, both traitors, are both trying to pin the blame on each other after Diane's untimely murder.
She looked at me and said, if I die, then it's Miles. She said, if you die, then it's Chaz.
It all hinges on Diane, who was a faithful, and, according to Paul, told him that if she ended up murdered, Miles would be blamed. The audience, of course, knows that neither of them can be trusted, but also watching them play the others while turning on each other is as tense as always.
But you coming back to me saying what Diane said is definitely you seems suspicious to me. That's what the question was. I don't need to answer. Just let me finish.
Paul's also trying to pin things on Evie, another faithful, even though his story about Diane relies on her. And at the last minute, Harry, the other traitor in the room, turns on both of them.
We literally sat there and it was like a tennis match between Miles and Paul. It's definitely fight or flight for Paul at the minute as well. He's playing this wrong.
Number 9. Secret couple.
But it was a little awkward because I'm holding a secret from him and that secret was sitting right next to me.
This was easily one of the most bizarre reality TV moments of recent years. Tom and Alex went onto the show together and were, unbeknownst to their fellow contestants, a couple.
Guys, straight up, this is a lot.
The audience knows that the duo are both faithful, but when things get intense, Tom takes it upon himself to announce to the group that they're a couple, and things quickly get out of control.
Alex isn't a traitor, straight up. She's my girlfriend. We came in here as a couple, but we came to try and find traitors.
It seems like a completely pointless thing to lie about to outsiders, but to those in the group, they felt genuinely betrayed. And it begged the question, if they were lying about that, what else were they lying about? Well, nothing. But they didn't know that.
I was actually mind blown. I was like, oh my God. And what made it better is he just started accusing the wrong people.
Number 8. Amanda's exit.
To me, it was either Aaron or it was going to be Theo. And that's why I came up with Theo.
It's only natural that, given that there are far more faithful than traitors, innocent people should get voted out from time to time. But not this time, because Amanda was playing absolutely everyone.
I'm really sorry, Amanda, I put your name.
Though at first glance she seems far too nice to be working for the other team, that's just what she wants you to think. And she was a traitor through and through. But what made her exit in Series 1 more shocking is that it largely came about because fellow traitor Wilfred betrayed her.
I knew Wilf would throw me under the bus. He's avoided me all day, he hasn't come near me. He's totally in it for himself.
In truth, some of the faithful were already suspecting her, and he just went along with it. But it was absolutely brutal. Number 7. Who do you trust?
I'd like you to tell me, out of everyone here, who do you trust the most?
Before the incident with Theo that saw Amanda booted from the castle, Claudia played rather a twisted game with the contestants. She sat them down for an elaborate dinner party and asked each of them, in turn, which one of the group they trusted the most.
The emotions do change from 9 o'clock to 6 o'clock. I know who I want to murder at some point, but at the moment I've got him on my side.
But you can't really trust anyone with that hefty cash prize at stake. It went on until we got to the last person standing, the one the group trusts the least, Maddie. She was then offered $3,000, paltry compared to the final prize pot, to leave.
This is £3,000. That was what was made on the mission today.
She found herself eventually voted off anyway, leaving with nothing, despite being faithful. Number 6. Wild accusations.
Whenever we get into discussions about traitors, you just close yourself in. You don't, you're not putting yourself on the line,
More from Series 2. The whole table turned on Johnny very early on. He started throwing names out, but similarly was judged to be too quiet during the roundtable discussions.
If I'm not being vocal, Then why am I mentioning people's names? You tell me that.
But as we know, he was faithful the whole time, as was his main accuser, Ross, while Paul, the really devious one, got off scot-free. Paul goes on about how upset he'll be if Johnny turns out to be a traitor, knowing the truth all the while.
I do feel a little bit under pressure since the dungeon. I need to kind of divert attention away and deflect.
It really makes you wonder why anybody wants to go on this show when you might get turned on for absolutely no reason. Well, it makes you wonder until you remember there's about £100,000 up for grabs.
Because with a few days that I've been through, if it is you, mate, that'll hurt. So I hope that
I don't think that's fair.
Number 5. Faithful betrayal.
I've got to get this out because I just feel awful about it. But the only thing that I can go back to is the day that Johnny went.
Aren't you supposed to be able to trust the faithful? Well, Johnny was promptly voted off, and then the faithfuls turned on each other even more. In a later week, Ross was in the firing line once again, with Charlie accusing him of being a model of suspicion because he was so instrumental in putting the heat on Johnny.
I don't think you are a traitor. I think you're a bad faithful, to be honest. You're just like bumbling and talking and things.
But the situation escalated, with people then throwing the blame on Zach, another faithful. This was because of Harry manipulating them all. Andrew too gets the blame at one point, and also wasn't a traitor.
You finished?
Sorry,
don't be rude.
Yeah,
no.
rude.
I'm just asking her if she's finished.
As they so astutely realise, they actually have no idea who might be the liars among them. Number 4. Mother and son. Paul's back again, but this time he isn't accused of being a traitor. People believe that he's secretly Diane's son.
Andrew was like, oh, he said something about me. He's convinced that you and Diane are mother and son.
As we saw with the Tom and Alex debacle, contestants who know each other already are often cast to add a new element to the show. But Paul's not Diane's son at all. Ross is.
So it turns out Diane is my mum. I know.
Ross and Diane signed up together, and knowing that, you do start to see the resemblance. It was lucky they were both faithful. We can't imagine how fraught the show would have become if one of them had to consistently betray the other. But for that much money, maybe they would turn on each other.
Do you know what's going to be the hardest thing?
What?
I'm going to have to call you Diane.
Yeah.
Number 3. The truth about Alysa.
I'm just using this to spur me on now because I'm like, they're just watching that.
As we've already established, the audience knows who the traitors are. But if you didn't, you'd probably never have guessed it was Alysa.
This is my time to shine. This is when I can truly act.
She was one of the nicest in the group, apparently, and she was also very good with old crocodile tears when she voted people off, knowing they were faithful the whole time. She played them all like a fiddle, until eventually they started to see through her.
What you've started to do now is you've started to pipe up and start pointing fingers because you feel like the pressure's on you. I don't buy all of the acting stuff from yesterday.
She just wasn't intervening in the round tables enough to pass the blame to other people, and eventually ended up in the firing line. When push came to shove, she was betrayed by her fellow traitors and banished.
I am a traitor. Oh my God! I'm so sorry. I'm a traitor. I'm so sorry.
Number 2. The weakest link. If you thought Claudia asking them who they trust was bad, this earlier game was arguably much worse. She asked the contestants to arrange themselves from most to least likely to win.
Maybe you're also showing your fellow players, don't worry about us. We're just going to go under the radar.
I feel like the people in the middle are probably doing that.
They took it in their stride at the time and fought over who was going to go at the far end, only for Claudia to ultimately reveal that the two at the bottom were going to be banished.
So I'm afraid it's goodbye.
This happened right after they'd gotten off the train, getting them acclimated to the brutality of the traitors and sending Amos and Kieran home until their shock return 5 episodes later.
I'd like you to leave the grounds immediately.
No. Nah, what? No! Nah, that's not, nah.
Who knew Claudia could be so mean? Number 1. The first winner.
It's just that thing in my head where it's just going to get taken away, and
Well,
Kieran's either done...
It's just like it's taken away for no reason.
But I'm just...
OK, the time for talk is over.
It didn't surprise anyone to see Will make it all the way to the finale of Series 1, after he orchestrated his 2 fellow traitors, Amanda and Alysa, being banished. But was he going to win all that prize money for himself? It was down to 4, who voted whether they wanted to end the game if they believed all the traitors were gone, or whether they wanted to keep playing.
And finally, Meryl. Who have you got written down on your slate?
Will.
It was tense, but the faithfuls knew something was wrong. The remaining 3 voted unanimously that Will was the traitor, which he was.
On Betrayal.
Aaron, Hannah and Meryl all went home with the grand prize. They absolutely deserved it. Let us know in the comments if you'd rather be a traitor or a faithful.
Honestly, Claudia is a savage. I know she's an icon and all, but she is not playing.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojoUK and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.